Good evening everyone and welcome to the West Wicklow Chamber Music Festival here at Rusborough House, County Wicklow. The West Wicklow Festival is a registered Irish charity and we established the festival and our mission is to bring Irish and international artists to West Wicklow for wonderful chamber music. If you'd like to download an e-programme for the festival, you can do so by looking in the description link below or visit our website and there'll be a downloadable link there. For this evening's concert, I'm delighted that we were featuring two rising Irish stars, the wonderful violinist Phoebe White and pianist Peter Regan. And before the concert begins, I caught up with them a little bit earlier on to talk about life, music, the programme for this evening. So enjoy the chat and enjoy their wonderful concert.
Phoebe White and Peter Regan, welcome to the West Wicklow Festival.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, delighted to see you both. So let's start off with, when did you guys meet and when did you start playing together?
We actually went to secondary school together.
Yeah.
I was going to Wesley College and Peter joined.
I joined in transition year and
You fled Roscommon?
Yeah, I fled Roscommon. No. I that was about the time when I realised I love piano, I love music. I really need to practice if I'm going to go to music college, so I was like, I need another year of school. And that's why I moved to Wesley and that's how I met Phoebe.
That's a hilarious connection. I didn't go to Wesley, but my school didn't have a piano good enough to play on for our junior and leaving certs, and I did my junior cert practical, I think,
at
Wesley College. Yeah, so that's really funny. We all have some sort of connection there. And then when did you start? You played together in school?
Then we started, I think we
fairly
played
immediately.
We played Beethoven's Spring Sonata, we played Debussy Sonata.
Lovely, okay. And in terms of your current studies at the moment, I know Phoebe, you're studying in Germany, is that right?
Yeah, I'm doing my Masters at the University of Arts in Berlin.
Great, and who are you studying with there?
With Latica Honda Rosenberg.
Wonderful. And what about you, Peter? You finished your studies?
I just graduated, yeah. I just finished my Masters at the Royal College of Music, where I studied with Gordon Fergus Thompson. So now I'm just, living up the lockdown life in London, yeah.
Big bad world.
Exactly, yeah.
Freelance performance. And who did you guys study with in Ireland?
I studied with Nuala Hunt.
And I studied with John O'Connor.
Wonderful.
Who I then followed to Canada. So, yeah.
And how have you found, let's say, leaving Ireland and expanding your horizons abroad? Like, did you find the transition difficult? Did you just enjoy and love seeing kind of the bigger world beyond, let's say, the relatively, I suppose it's relatively small music scene in Ireland, isn't it? We all know that, but have you really enjoyed kind of just getting outside of Ireland and seeing what the kind of the world has to offer?
Yeah, I left Ireland at 18 to do my bachelor in Bloomington, Indiana, with Maurizio Fuchs. Bloomington has a population of 80,000 and 40,000 of those are undergraduate students, so I definitely didn't go and see the big wide world. I went way smaller to very
more parochial.
Yeah, a more close-knit music community of students. And I suppose I spent my bachelor kind of focusing on learning how to play the violin, not really developing my career but just kind of focusing on developing as an artist and as a musician. So now I'm kind of at that stage where in Berlin I'm kind of seeing much more what's going on and actually participating in the music scene more, I suppose.
And Berlin, I mean, it's got a wonderful nightlife as well. Have you experienced the evening time fun of Berlin, or are you always in the practice room? I
moved to Berlin during September, October 2020, so it's been Corona times. I did manage to get to a couple of concerts in the Berlin Philharmonic and stuff before the hard lockdown came, but no, I haven't been partying it up in Berlin.
But something to look forward to when everything opens up. And what about you, Peter? How is kind of coming to London being? Have you really enjoyed it?
I love London. I absolutely love London. It's so exciting. There are so many different kinds of people here, and musical culture is so strong and varied here, so I really love that. It's really exciting. I was also lucky, unlike Phoebe, to come here before the pandemic, which was great, but obviously for the last year it's been a similar story. It hasn't been as fun, but I still love it and I'm looking forward to it.
I should probably say to anyone watching when we say the word here, we're in London, we're in the Voces8 studio here in lovely central London, just in case anyone's thinking, where is this in Wicklow? We're not currently in Wicklow. And what are your earliest childhood memories in terms of music? So like, is there a first concert you remember, or is there a first person you saw with an instrument that kind of inspired you? Is there that first kind of story that kind of got you on your way to playing the violin and playing the piano?
Well, my sister at home was playing piano before I was. She wasn't very good. Sorry, Laura Ann, when you're watching this. Yeah, Laura Ann and the piano were not meant to be. But yeah, I used to just toddle in and out and think, oh, that's really nice. I'll push a few buttons. Isn't that lovely? And Mum decided, oh, maybe you should go do some piano lessons. And initially, I was like, no, absolutely not. So for some reason, the lessons, I thought, no, I don't want to do it. It'll put me off. But once I had the first lesson, I never stopped. So that was it, thanks to Lauren. She didn't get much use out of it, but I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose I have the same thing. Basically, my sister, Carla, who's a few years older than me, probably was playing violin since I was born, and I was just totally, like, there's photos of me as a child just like staring at her while she's practicing. I was just like totally taken by it. So yeah, I actually started playing violin when I was 3. And yeah, I think as long as I think before I started playing violin when I was 2, I wanted to be like a hairdresser when I grew up, but as soon as I started playing violin, like that's all I can remember. It's just been my life. Yeah.
Well, you've got a very fashionable haircut. And then when did you guys, like, do you have a conscious age where you can remember you said, I want to be a musician, or did you just always know you were going to be a musician, or did you have like, I had a conflict between music and veterinary and really struggling to choose one over the other? Like, did you have any similar experiences, or was it always just, I want to be a musician, that's it?
I think I definitely always wanted to be a violinist. Maybe in my late teens, I kind of had a long hard think about it, and I was considering actually going to art school to do painting, but I think that was more just, I was like, music is really hard, and do I have what it takes, But deep inside, I think I always knew, yeah.
And what about you?
I think I didn't really. It was always just a bit of fun. Before I got a bit older, then when I was 15, I decided, oh yeah, I really, really like the piano, and that's when I started Googling the piano and putting Chopin in on YouTube, and that's when I realized, oh wow, like, it would be really good. So I think, yeah, I came to that decision later, but it's been pretty solid since then. Yeah, exactly.
And then in terms of like the last year, obviously you mentioned you've moved to Germany, but it's been in the time of Corona and everything else. But how has, let's say, COVID, I know it's affected everyone, but for you guys as, at the time, students now obviously entering the profession full time, like, has it been a moment that has given you, like, in terms of the positives of it, have you had a lot of time obviously to choose new repertoire, think about, I've seen some things of you on Instagram learning some jazz.
Oh yeah.
Like, how have you used the last year in terms of a positive way to kind of, further your music, but also maybe have you taken up any new hobbies, or you have any new epiphanies on life?
Well, I suppose at the start of lockdown, I'd just been to Berlin and had maths classes with my teacher, Letizia Honda Rosenberg, and it was like, I just knew I had to study with her. I was so inspired by her. So during the first wave, the first lockdown, I just was practicing like mad just for the audition. I think I practiced more than I ever did in my life, so I was really, really focused. I think in general though, the pandemic has been quite difficult for musicians not being able to perform. I definitely felt like the kind of spark, the magic of live performance has been missing, like when I'm practicing stuff. So yeah, and I suppose the other side of it is that we're all so isolated from one another, like the whole world has been so isolated from one another, and I think it's like such a pity that we can't like have live concerts and stuff, or more concerts even. That's why I think this is so great, the West Wicklow Festival, to be doing this, because I think music is something that brings us together and like allows us to connect and like share emotions and stuff, and I think we need that now more than ever even,
What about you, Peter?
Don't know if I could add anything as profound as that.
It's the complete answer. No, and you're right. And I suppose part of what we're doing with the West Wicklow Festival is when you deliver concerts in this, really top HD, brilliant sound engineers, brilliant videographers, it's as close to the live experience as the audience is going to get. So I hope people, they are going to think it's as close as they can get to the concert hall in their own home.
Yeah.
And then what about, like, let's say down the next year and a half, are you guys, have any plans of further studies, or is it just continue on and just continue giving concerts, or have you thought much about, like, the future, doing a doctorate or something like this, or
My mother would like the sound of that. I don't think I want to do a doctorate though. No, but yeah, like things are actually starting to open up again a bit in a way that really takes me by surprise. Every time I get an email, I still feel like, oh wow, we really are getting emails again. It's nice. So in the next year or so, I have some competitions coming up. Like I'll be in the Royal Overseas League, and I'll be playing with Camerata Ireland in November. So there's a few things on the horizon, and the plan is just to keep on learning new repertoire, get better at the repertoire I know, and see how far I can take it in the next few years. Yeah,
it sounds really exciting. And what about you, Phoebe? Do you think after your current masters, will you continue to study, or will you take a break?
Yeah, well, I've actually just been awarded the RDS Music Bursary, which is gonna it's gonna allow me to continue my studies in Berlin and go on and do a soloist masters, which is kind of the equivalent of an art diploma or something. They call it the soloist masters in Berlin. But yeah, I definitely want to continue studying with my teacher, and keep doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
keep playing, keep learning.
Yeah, well, listen, bravo to you both. And currently, if in terms of music you listen to or don't listen to, what at the moment is kind of the hot thing on your iPod or phone? It doesn't even have to be classical music. Like maybe you listen to Beyonce. Like, but what would be your go-to at the moment? Like when you get out of here and you finish the concert this evening, what will you listen to? Do you think?
I'm kind of, this is going to sound really boring, but I'm just obsessed with really old recordings of like violinists that are dead. Westrach, Heifetz, Jeanette Neveu, Johnny Lorraine, those kind of guys.
It's hard to beat them though, isn't it? Like,
exactly, I find whenever I listen to those in the morning, then my practice and my playing that day is like 10 times better. So yeah. That's a very boring answer, but that's what I'm into.
Right, give us a more fun answer.
An equally boring answer, probably go home and slob out on the couch and put on some Jesse Norman or someone like that. Just wallow in it.
And then talk us through the programme for this evening. So you're going to start with some Beethoven, then you're going to play the wonderful Ysaÿe poem. We have our first ever winner of the West Wicklow Festival composition competition, brilliant work, Citadel of Light by Garry Wilkinson. And then you're finishing with the Bartok 6 Romanian dances. So just talk us through your choice of programme, and if there's anything maybe about each piece that you think the audience should particularly know, which might help them on the journey. I mean, there will be programme notes, but just from your own perspectives of why these works, what they mean to you, why they're important.
Why will I go?
Go.
I'll leave the Ysaÿe to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Beethoven.
Beethoven is it's a really wonderful piece in that it's on the surface it seems so economical and like very sparse and like there's not a lot there, but it's tremendously exciting. It's got manic energy, in the first and last movements, but then in the middle you have just the sun comes out. It's like, okay, that was pretty stressful opening to the day there, and then the second movement comes out, it's like, oh, we all take a break, have a cup of tea there, and it's lovely, and then it's business time, express train to the end for the last movement. So hopefully people really enjoy that.
I actually loved the second movement of this sonata. I tend to think most of Beethoven's slow movements are super profound and deep and stuff. This one is just kind of a joke, and it's just a bit of fun, and it's really cute. Then after that we're gonna play the Ysaÿe Poème Élégiaque. This is one of my favourite pieces to perform. It actually uses scordatura, where you tune the G string down to an F, and it gives the whole violin kind of like a viola-like timbre to it. So that's super fun to play. I also just love the story of the piece. It's actually based on Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, and it's a setting of kind of after Romeo and Juliet take their own lives. So the story kind of begins at the end, and then in the middle there's this totally magical funeral scene. And it's just full of drama and passion, and it's totally amazing, I think.
And then how has it been you're going to be giving the world premiere of Garry Wilkinson's Citadel of Light? how's it been working with Garry, and what have you thought of the work, and have you enjoyed working on this new work?
I've loved it. Garry as well was really nice to work with. He was very accommodating and easygoing, and any questions we had, he was right there on the other end. He was really easy to work with. And the piece itself is, we loved it. There's so much opportunity for atmosphere, and he gave us so many cool sound effects to play with. I'm going to be playing inside the piano as opposed to on the keys.
There's a lot of opportunity to be creative with it.
Yeah, he
it's
didn't
not
set
too
everything in stone.
strictly written. It's not too concrete or anything. It's kind of as
Lots
you said,
of room to
atmosphere,
explore.
just playing with things.
Yeah.
And then you're ending with the wonderful Bartok 6 Romanian dances. And I don't know about you, but I feel, as Irish people coming from a country that has a very strong folk tradition, do you find an affinity? I always found an affinity with Bartok, and I think it came from that similar type of traditional music that we all grow up knowing, and it's very much, that's steeped in Bartok's whole language of folk music. Do you find the same? Do you find, let's say, coming from a country with a strong folk tradition, that Bartok sort of just sits a bit easier in the kind of DNA?
Yeah, I'd say.
Peter's no.
I haven't considered it from that perspective, really.
I think obviously the language of the music is quite different from Irish folk music, you know, and those I suppose there's a few kind of rules with Bartok, you always put the accent on the start of the gesture, that kind of thing. But at the same time, I think it's different as a violinist. I kind of enjoy being able to play not so correctly and kind of just
a bit more of a dirty kind of sound.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in the fifth and sixth piece, you can kind of just push away.
The sense of play is the same, I think.
And I don't know. I know this work was originally written for solo piano, but I actually prefer the version on violin and piano. I don't know. Do you agree, Peter? But for me, I just love the arrangement for violin and piano. I think it works beautifully. But guys, listen, we're so looking forward to your performance this evening. Thank you so much. We look forward to being able to have you back in Wicklow with an audience, hopefully in a not too distant future, and really enjoy this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're really looking forward to it.
I hope you all enjoyed the performance this evening, and thank you all for tuning in. Please keep an eye on westwicklowfestival.com for all of the future concerts as part of this festival series. The West Wicklow Festival is a charity, and of course we're delighted to be bringing you these concerts free of charge this year. But if you enjoyed the concert and if you're in a position to support our charitable work, please do consider making a donation to the West Wicklow Festival. You can do that by clicking on the links in the description box below, or by visiting our website westwicklowfestival.com, or through our Facebook page, or you can also email us at westwicklowfestival@gmail.com and we can contact you back directly. Please share all the concerts with family, friends, watch them again, and until we can have you back here, take care and see you soon.